am still on my phone. I've been trying to contact Apple about it, and I have my iPad now, so it's a lot bigger.
Ah, okay.
But it's still, they couldn't find the problem. It might just be a virus on the computer, but I'm not very sure.
When you do it on the iPad, do you have to get their special app?
Yeah, there's just a GoToMeeting app, and that's it.
Okay, because I wondered how you were able to download the software. I figured there had to be.
Yeah, there's just an app for it.
So, what are we going to talk about tonight?
So next, I think it's on Monday, there's a little, like a practice test for math, but it's not over trig, it's more over it's almost like the ACT, I would almost say. It looks just like it.
Okay.
And she gave us a review.
Uh-huh.
So if I can send you the link if you want of the review or the download of it. That's okay with you?
Sure. Put it in the, type it in the chat window, or type it where it says type message here, and then hit enter, and it'll go into the chat window, and I can click on it directly.
Okay. Let me get it. Got it. Let's see. Okay. Let me get it up. There it is.
You might have to hit enter to get it to go into the chat.
Yeah. Let me just, I'm on my computer with the review. It's just I couldn't get the actual, I couldn't get GoToMeeting to work, so I'm sending this through my phone to you. So
Okay.
I'll just take mute away. I'm just hoping I'm going to write it all right. And she said this, a lot of these kind of questions almost exactly are going to be on the test.
Okay.
So, sorry, it's a long URL, it looks like. 239.
I was just about to ask, is there anything that is harder to do on that iPad?
Not really.
Let's see, I got a not found. MediaWiley.com?
Mm-hmm. / Lux.
Clicking on that again. No? Still not found. Huh. So can you copy and paste? Or are you having to type that whole thing?
Oh, let me try something really quick. Okay, sorry. Let me send it up through, because I'm on my computer really quick, so.
Okay, you can send it to my email if you like.
See if I can copy it and paste it to my browser and see if.
That's the way to do it if you can.
Yeah, I think that'll be a lot faster.
Yeah, because that thing looks pretty complicated, and it looks like it'd be easy to miss a number.
Yeah. So, okay. So, what is your email?
David Cowan, 1949 at gmail.com. And Cowan is C-O-W-A-N.
C-O-W. So it's David Cowan, and then what's after?
1949. I'm writing it on my screen right now.
Oh, sorry. Okay. At Gmail. Okay. Okay, thank you. If not, do you want the PDF download or just the link to that?
Whatever's easiest.
Okay.
So all I'm going to do is click on it from my email.
Okay. Just downloading it. Alright. It's sending right now.
that up. Okay. What's the next number in that sequence?
Look at the. Open this. Okay. So it goes up by 6, 7, 8, 38.
Okay.
I remember when we practiced ACT, I remember I used to be okay until like after like 30, but I haven't done it in a while, so I don't know if I would get these easy ones wrong anymore.
Well, and this may not be the same. These may not be easy. I don't know.
Yeah, me either. Okay. Should we just go in order?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Since we don't really know.
Okay. So job painting 5. I've been includes. Let's show shift. 360 divided by 5. So it's 72, so that's 1 hour and 12 minutes.
Good.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Do we have answers on these at the back?
Not what I know of.
All right.
I can look if you want, but I don't think she posted an answer one.
We may not need them.
Okay.
In other words, I may be able to be certain on most of them.
Okay, cool. Number 3. Okay, that's not too bad. 5x plus 3 equals 10x minus 17. 20 equals 5x. X equals 4.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Huh?
Okay. The number 4 is a positive integer. 3 factors. Oh, so you have to get what is the sum of the 3 factors of k? Oh, okay, so k is, okay, so the greatest would be 20, I think.
Hold on. Let's talk about how we're doing this.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of doing just factors of like 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Well, that's the way to do it. In other words, does 5 have 3?
No.
Has 2. What does 6 have?
Let's see. 4, I think. 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 6, I think.
Okay.
So that's 4. And then 7 has 2. And then 8 has 4.
Yep.
And then 9 has 3.
Good.
So then you just do 1. Would you just do 1 plus 3? So it would be k equals 9.
No, what is the sum of the 3 factors? What were our 3 factors?
So it'd be 6. Or no, it'd be 1, 3, and 9.
Exactly.
So
In other words, we would wonder whether we needed to add another 3 there, except the example they gave us doesn't repeat the 2.
Okay.
In other words, they didn't actually tell us the sum of the 3 factors of 4 was 7, and that would have been helpful because we don't really need. What is the sum of the exact 3 factors? So it would definitely be 9 plus 1 plus 3.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back up to the top and do 5.
Okay. So here it's 3,200 a month for 10 months, so that's 3,200 times 10 is 32,000. Then he takes a job as a barista at a local cafe, which here is 2,000. July and August. So that'd be 2,000 times 2, which is 4,000. What was the average monthly pay for 12 months? So you would 32,000 plus 4,000 would be 36,000, which would be over 12 months, so a year. And then you do 36,000 divided by 12, I think, which would give you 3,000.
Right. Okay. These do appear to be relatively easy, but that's okay.
That's a good kind of review because I haven't practiced a lot since
it's good.
Summer.
It's a good morale builder anyway.
Okay, so next is number 6. Yep. When you multiply a number by 4 and then subtract 7, always added these. The result is the same if you subtract 7 from the same number by 11. So it'd be 4x minus 7 on one side. And the result is the same as if you subtracted 7 from the same number and then multiplied by 11. So it'd be x, or parentheses, I think, x minus 7 times 11.
Correct.
And then, so that's the beginning equation. Then you get 4x minus 7 equals 11x minus 77. Oops. You get 70x.
Get what?
70. I kind of want 70 equals 7x.
Okay.
And then x equals 10.
Correct.
Those are the ones that always get me on these tests.
Well,
I'm not really big on word problems like those.
I think you did it the best way, algebraically. For one thing, you had no trouble converting that into an equation. And some people might, but you didn't. Now,
is there different ways to do that?
Yeah, there's a different way to do the problem, and that is, let's back solve it. Well, let's start with what? If we're going to back solve this problem, what numbers should we start with?
If you're back solving, so doesn't back solve mean start from the, like,
typically you want to start with the second smallest or the second biggest, either one.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to start with 13. So we're going to assume 13 is the number. Now, if we multiply that by 4 and add 7, we get 59.
Yeah.
If we subtract 7 from it and multiply it by 11, we get 66. So clearly 13 is not the number.
No.
You know for sure from this whether it has to be smaller or bigger.
Yeah, so you have to then go smaller.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I would be certain of which way it was.
Really?
Well, I know that it looks obvious that it's smaller here, but because of the algebra going on, we've got subtraction going on, multiplication going on, I'm not sure I would be positive, which means I wouldn't be certain enough to say 10 was the answer without checking it out.
So would you go there next, or would you go one higher?
No. I feel like the answer has to be smaller. I believe it has to be smaller, but I'm not positive of it from these two numbers. This is not like a marble problem or an age problem, where you are certain that you have to go bigger or smaller. Okay, so that means we're just going to try 10. Well, 47 is what you get on the left side, and subtracting 7 from 10, 10 minus 7 is 3. What's going on? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't get 44. You get 33. Multiply by 4 and subtract 7. and that's the same as 3 times 11, 33. So that is the right answer.
Okay.
But notice that if I tried a number like 8, let me point this out. Now 8 isn't on there, but let's say it was. Okay, multiply it by 4, you get 32, subtract 7, you get 25.
Yeah.
On the other side, subtract 7 first, multiply by 11, you get 11. Now, this almost appears like we need a smaller number, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And yet, we know the answer is 10. So, that's the only thing I'm trying to point out here is that just because this came out to be 59 and this was 66 didn't necessarily mean we needed a smaller number.
Okay.
Well, actually, maybe it did. In other words, since this was smaller, we needed a smaller number. Since this was bigger, we need a bigger number. But I don't know. I don't see the logic of it that clear myself. If I was taking this test, I would have checked 10. I wouldn't have taken it for granted that it was the answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will. In other words, if it's a marble problem, you always know which way to go, up or down. Okay, how about 7 here?
Okay. I just have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
When you're doing any kind of ACT, should you check your answer? Because I feel like sometimes you won't have enough time.
I agree with you. No, you shouldn't always check it. And I wasn't really checking it on that problem.
Yeah, I'm
just in general, the first back solve, I wasn't convinced we needed to go down from the back solve. So yes. I was testing 10 because I wasn't sure. Okay. But you can see that algebraically was the way to go. I mean, you did it algebraically in about 15 seconds. So.
Okay, 7.
Yeah.
11, don't remember these in a while. Let's see.
Oh, did you say C?
Or no, let's see. I think that means, oh yes, the solid one means the greater or less than or equal to.
Right.
So it's B.
Okay.
I almost forgot about those. Okay. So 8. In the following figures, the two triangles are similar. The lengths are shown. What is the value of y in terms of x? So it's almost twice. So the sides are almost twice as long.
Okay.
So one of those on the small triangles is 2, so the other one should be 4. So then one side of the small should be 4.
You're right. Keep going.
So then the other one would be 8.
Okay.
So then it would be on those x plus 4.
X plus 4 is the only thing that gives you 8. So, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, this is a good review, actually.
That was actually a pretty good problem. I haven't seen a similar triangle problem quite like that.
Yeah. Okay, so which of the following is n minus 3 squared? N equals 11. So 11 minus 3 squared equals, so it's 11, 10, 9, 8 squared. So it'd be 60, so n equals, I completely just, so now I just substitute 11, I think, and so it'd be, and I'm just seeing if that would work.
No, I think you're doing it the right way.
So the n plus 6, n minus 6, 17, 5, 17, or n minus 6, n plus 6. So that's 17 times 5, which is 85, so that's not right. So let's try the n plus 5, n minus 7, and 16 times 4, which is 64. So it'd be n plus 5, n minus 7.
Good. It's another one that's a bit strange. In other words, none of these is equal to that. That's n squared minus 6n plus 9. But when n is exactly 11, the results of that are the same as b.
Yeah.
You don't see that problem on very many ACT tests. We're seeing problems that we haven't seen of a different nature.
It's kind of nice.
It is. And you're able to handle them. It's not that they're particularly hard necessarily. Just requires thinking a little differently.
Yeah. It could just be the time too. That's what I'm worried about. If I rush it too fast or not go fast enough. I'm always kind of scared for that.
Well, about halfway through the test, you should look at your pace and find out, determine whether you're on pace or not.
Okay.
If you have 60 questions and you have 60 minutes, what question should you be on at the 30-minute mark?
30.
Should be ahead of that.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely you should be ahead of that. In other words, your pace is faster than this because the plan is to go through the test once in less than 60 minutes. In other words, we want to go see all 60 questions in 50 minutes.
Okay.
So your pace really needs to be faster than one problem per minute because otherwise you'll hit problem 60 at the final buzzer. Okay, so
So what happens if I don't, if I'm on problem 50 and I have 60, or I have 5 minutes left? Should I just keep going or should I go to the last ones?
I would say that if you get off pace, speed up and try to differentiate between problems that are going to be easy to solve and problems that are going to be difficult to solve, and skip or guess immediately on the difficult ones and do the easy ones.
Okay.
Another student of mine gave me a nice little tip once, and that is that she doesn't circle the hard ones and come back to them. She circles them and guesses the first time through. So that if she runs out of time, she doesn't leave 10 questions that haven't been guessed on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is. And she can still, if she has extra time at the end of the test, she can still go back and work those problems, erase her guess, and work them. So it's not like she can't change it. But it is a good emergency method in case she really gets short on time at the end. She doesn't have to waste it going back and guessing the second time through.
Yeah, that actually is really good.
Yeah, I liked it when I heard it, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to have to remember that. Okay, so...
This is square.
So square has an area of 22,500. What is the diagonal distance? So the area is 22,500. When you just have to get the square root of that?
Go ahead.
Let me check. Don't have the... There's a square root. I'm just going to use a square root button on this. So I don't know what that is.
What's the square root of 225?
Isn't it
15?
15.
Okay, so
it would be 150.
Uh-huh. So that's what measurement?
That's the, well, that's the not the, you could say on this.
That's the side measurement.
Yeah,
and it's a square, so it's 150 on every side. So now, what is the diagonal measurement?
Wouldn't it still be the same?
The hypotenuse is always the largest side of a triangle.
Oh, okay.
Remember what your 45, this is a 45-45 triangle. What are the dimensions of a 45-45 triangle? The unit one?
So on a 45, it is, oh my gosh.
Well, this is the 45 right here.
Oh, 1, yeah, squared.
I call it my unit because the side opposite the smallest angle is always 1.
Okay.
Well, once you put a 1 there, the rest of it's not hard to do. You know this is 1, and that's got to be square root of 2. So now, what is this length? Since we're looking at a similar triangle.
That would be 100, no, I was going to say 150 to the square root of 2.
That's correct. Why did you think that wasn't going to be correct?
No, I don't know. I was just...
Okay. Now the question is, what number is that? We're multiplying 150 by approximately 1.4. Well, 0.4 times that is 60. So we're going to be adding 60 to 150. It's around that. Now, they don't put very many answers around this number here. So I would be very comfortable saying it has to be J without a calculator.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, because there's nothing really like...
That's very typical. They typically do that. They're not going to give you answers that are real close together here, forcing you to actually use a calculator. Anybody that's reasonably good at approximating numbers, that's close enough on almost all of these kind of problems.
Okay.
Let's look at 11.
Slope on a standard material page. So, slope of passing through 1, 3, and 4, -3. So the formula of that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, I think.
That's rise over run. So it's the difference in the y-coordinates divided by the difference in the x-coordinates.
So it's -3 minus 3, then 4 minus 1. So that's -6 over 3, which is -2.
Good.
Okay.
Let's do them in numerical order here.
Okay. 12. 30 by 40, 60 by 80. How much squares? Okay. So 30 times 40 is 1200. 60 times 80 is 4800. So you add them. So it'd be 1200 plus 4800, which is 6000. So then you do, if it's a 2 by 2, that's 4, I think. 2 by 2 is by 4. So you do 6000 divided by 4, and that is 30, 45, 6. That's 1500.
Correct. You're getting a little harder.
Yeah. So 13.
Hold on, let me move my thing out of the way.
And this one's using secant of n. So this is a little trick.
Yeah.
So secant is hypotenuse over adjacent.
Okay.
I think. So that's 2 square root of 5 over 4. I'm guessing that's not a, yeah, no, so you can divide by 2, so you get square root of 5 over 2. And then that's C, I think, so C.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, okay, so I'm always bad at these. Okay, so
don't convince yourself you don't know these. I know you know how to do this.
Yeah, it's been a little. So PQ minus 3R equals 2. What is the value of Q in terms of P and R? So PQ minus 3R equals 2. So PQ equals 3R plus 2. So if you want to find of P and R, so when you just put P over, or divided by 3R plus 2 divided by P.
Yeah.
Okay.
In other words, they're saying, what is Q? Don't let them confuse you with the rest of it. It's saying solve for Q. Well, when we solve for Q, that's what we get.
Okay, so
let's go up
15.
Up for 15, yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
If f of x 4x squared minus 5x minus 5 g of x to the power of x minus 4. Okay, so g, what is the value of g times 6 over f?
That's called g of 6.
G of 6.
It's not g times 6. Okay, that would be incorrect to call it that. It's of. It's like this is f of x. Well, what is f of 2?
Oh.
That's what they're saying here. That's g of 6 divided by f of minus 5.
Oh, okay. I think I know how to do it. Okay, so
what's g of 6?
So it's 2 to the power of 6 minus 4. So that's 2 to the 6th is 2 to 64.
Okay.
Minus 4, which equals 60.
It's f of minus 5.
Okay, so that's negative 4 times negative 5 squared.
Where are you getting negative 4?
Or sorry, positive 4. Okay. My bad. So it's 4 times negative 5 squared minus 5 times negative 5 minus 5. So that's 25 times 4, and that's 100 plus 25 minus 5. So that's 120. So they're asking g over f, so it'd be 60 over 120, which is 1/2.
Okay. Did I hear I think there?
Yeah.
Have confidence. Anthony, you're good at this stuff. Don't doubt yourself.
Even in tests, even if I get it right, I second guess myself too much.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes I get the answer right the first one, and then I change it, and then get it wrong.
You know, I think it's similar to golf. You take two golfers who are the same ability, and one of them's got a lot of confidence, that's everything in putting. If you think you can make it, you're a better putter. And, you know, it applies to math, I think. I believe it does. So, and I know you have good math skills, so be confident.
Okay. All right. So, the next, so it's 16?
16.
if you multiply two integers together and then add 4, the result is 40. Which of the following could not be a sum? So I'm just going to label the integers say x, y. So plus 4 equals 40. So x times y equals 36. 1 times 36 is, so 1 plus 36 is 37. Okay, no, that's not right. So 2 times 18 equals 36. 2 plus 18 equals 20. 3 times 12 equals 36. 3 plus 12 is 15. Okay. Okay. Is that right? J?
Well, it was hard for me to follow exactly what you were doing there.
Yeah, I kind of just stopped.
Well, let's look at all the factors of 36. Okay.
That's 1 times 1 and 36. And that's 2 and 18.
Isn't that all of them right there?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, 37 could be the sum, 20 could be the sum, 13 could be the sum, and 12 could be the sum.
Mm-hmm.
Which could not be the sum?
So, let me see some.
Did I miss one? Are there other factors of 36? Yeah, 37. I did. 12 and 3.
12 and 3.
Okay. That makes me feel better, because otherwise there were going to be 2 correct answers on there.
Yeah.
So, in other words, here's our possible sums. 37, 20, 13, 12, and 15. Which number is not on that list from our choices?
Let me look. 37, 20, 13.
Actually, you need to look at the list of the possible answers and compare that to what it possibly could be.
Okay, so
Not
there's
the other way
I
around.
don't see an 8. Yeah, I don't really see an 18.
Right. In other words, there's no factors of 36 that can add to 18.
Okay.
And let's look at this parallel lines and a transversal here.
Okay. So if the following figure, the 2 horizontal lines are parallel, which the following does not equal 180. Oh, it's been a while. Okay. So if angle P and R are opposite, I know those P and R works already. I know that because I remember.
Okay. So P and R does equal 180?
Yeah.
Okay.
Q and S, same thing.
Well, let's go down one by one. What's the next one to check?
Oh, so you can do...
Yeah, you don't want to randomly pick up pairs and do it that way. Let's go, 'cause you'll never remember all the possible combinations. So let's go one by one.
Okay.
We know A equals 180. How about B?
So that's P plus T. That doesn't equal 180.
Right.
No, that's not. So you could just circle it right there.
Now how do we know that's not equal to 180?
I remember, so, because, I'm just looking at the other ones, and they all make sense, because the other ones, some of them are vertical angles.
You know that P plus R equals 180. Mm-hmm. Is R the same as T?
Yeah, wait. R and T. Aren't those all vertical angles?
No.
So,
in other words, we don't know if that's equal to that. It looks pretty close. They're both acute angles. That's acute and that's acute. But
well, R, S, and T would work. That would be 180 every.
Yeah.
But I don't know about R and T.
In other words, we don't know for sure if P and T is 180. We can't really tell from this figure. But I'm not sure I can rule it out either. So maybe I need to look at the others. Q and S certainly add to 180. T and U add to 180. How about R, S, and T? Hey.
Aren't those vertical angles?
They're vertical angles to that. So they do have to add 1 to 180, don't they?
Yeah.
That's pretty clever. I like that. And that means that B has to be the right answer. In other words, we found 4 others that do add to 180.
Yeah.
All right. That's a pretty good problem, actually.
18. If A and B are two values of T, that satisfies the equation T squared minus 6T plus 8 equals 0. A is greater than B. What is the value of A minus B? Can you just factor it out first? So it would be T squared minus 6T plus 8 equals 0. So that's a 2 minus 2, T plus 4, or T minus 2, T minus 4. So
the answers are 2 and 4.
2 and 4. Yeah. So
what is A minus B?
So it'd be 4 minus 2, 6, 2.
Yeah. In other words, they're saying that take the bigger of the answer and subtract the smaller.
Yeah.
Since A is greater than B, that means we have to have the bigger number minus the smaller number. Okay, how about 19?
Rectangle. Oh gosh. Okay. So a rectangular box has 2 sides whose lengths are 3 9 centimeters. 135 volume. Okay, so the area. So okay, so volume is length times width times height.
Okay.
So it's 135 equals 3 times 9 times h.
Okay.
So 135 equals 27h.
Okay.
27.
So the third dimension is what?
5.
Is that 135 divided by 27?
So yeah, h is 5.
Okay. So what is the area of the largest side?
Ooh, so wouldn't you just do 9 times the height?
That's what I would do. Yeah.
No, yeah, 9 times the height, so 45.
Yeah. In other words, well, that's what I would do and go on. This almost seems like it could have some ambiguities. I hate the way they're describing this box. It has 2 sides whose lengths are this.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, that's hard to even figure out. Basically, by the time you read the whole problem, you realize, well, that's 2 of the dimensions. Let's find the third dimension. And you did.
Yeah.
You came up with 5, so we know it's a 3 by 5 by 9 box. Well, the area of the largest side would be which of those 3 by 5 by 9? It would have to be that side, whatever is the 9 by 5 side. Whether it's a top or a bottom. In other words, does it have to be a side? Hold on a moment. Before we go with that answer, let's draw this picture here and see if we can figure out what they're trying to say. Not that you'd probably want to do this on the test, just because it's going to take too long. There's our box, and it says that it has two sides whose lengths are 3 and 9 centimeters. What does that mean? I guess that means that this is 3 and that's 9.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So now we know the height is 5. Which is the largest side? Yeah, it's still 9 times 5. It's that side right there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I overthought that one. And that's why I said when we first saw it, I would go ahead and answer 45 and go on. I wouldn't give it that extra time I gave it. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't coming up with the bottom of the box, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely. I had that. That's why I kind of like waited.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if because there can be multiple kind of things you could have done.
Right. I know. I thought maybe it was a trick question, but
yeah, they don't have that much. Most the ACTs I have, they haven't really tried to trick you that much off.
Right. Okay, 20.
If you graph 3x plus 2y minus 2 on a stern and 5x minus 4y. Can you just system of equations on that? So,
yes, you can.
So it'll be 3x plus 2y equals negative 2, and then it'll be plus 10x minus 2i equals 28. And then
hold on. Oh. Okay, now I'm with you. I just was having a hard time seeing what you're doing. That's all right. You're doing it right. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of just went.
You were just ahead of me.
Yeah, I just kind of like skipped a little part without writing it. So it'd be 13x equals 26, so x is 2. So now you could just do 3.
Make sure you don't do that step. It's a waste of time. Look at your answers. What's the correct answer?
G.
Right. And always be aware of that. Always be looking for that. In other words, you never want to do any work that you don't have to do. It takes time.
Okay.
Even though it wasn't hard, it still took time.
Okay.
To do it. And they didn't give multiple answers with another 2 in there, so that has to be the right one. Now that's a case where I think that they're intentionally doing that.
Yeah. Because you're already in the problems, so you're kind of not looking.
They're trying to trap people that would automatically solve for y. As opposed to the people who look at the answers and realize that as soon as you solve for x, you're done.
Yeah, I would have noticed that.
An extra 30 seconds. So the person that recognizes that gets a bonus 30 seconds, essentially, by not having to go through and solve for y. So always kind of keep your eye on the answers before you plow through the algebra. It's real tempting to just plow into the algebra and do everything that you had to do in class to answer that kind of a problem. And in class, you always had to solve for x and y.
Yeah, I just would think, like, I always think at least the answer would be a little closer, but it wasn't. So, okay. So 21?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so... plus... Ooh, okay. Can you? I'm trying to find a factor that goes into the greatest common of it.
Don't think that hard.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking the great.
Back solve. Just start multiplying these together in your head until you see a problem and go to the next one.
Okay. So, okay. So if you want...
Start with just the first term. Multiply that by that. Does it equal that? If it doesn't, go on to the next.
Okay.
So tell me at what point you rule it out. Does A work?
No.
Okay. Does B work?
Yes, B worked out.
Okay. It worked on the first term. Did you already do all three?
No, I just did the first.
Okay. Now check the second.
Okay. So that's 6xy. Yeah.
B is correct. B works on all three terms.
Okay.
And there's no real rhyme or reason where to start here. In other words, we're going to back solve this, but it's not like another type back solving problem where we're going to know to go up or down.
Okay. Yeah, I just factored out an when you were saying that, I factored out a 6xy squared.
Uh-huh.
So that pretty much took out 3 of them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that step. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But when it comes down to it, you're going to have to multiply these out to verify it, right?
Yeah, you're true.
And you certainly don't want to try to factor that thing. You could take a long time. Although you came up with it pretty quick, so.
Okay,
all right, 22.
ABC is a square. And the diameter is centered at O. If the area is 100, what is the shaded region? So an area of that is, so if it's the square, so if the area of the square is 100, each side is 10.
Okay.
So the diameter is 10.
Okay.
And then and then the radius is 5.
Okay.
So then the area so it would be area equals pi r squared.
Okay.
So pi times 5 squared equals 25 pi. So then you have to only have half of the area, so it's 25 pi over 2.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they do put the trap answer on there.
Yeah.
Now, I bet a lot of people put that down there. In other words, they go through the whole problem, they figure out the area of the circle, boom, they're done.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so okay, so here's has a phone plan, $50 monthly, first 1,000 minutes, quarter for each additional minute. M is greater than 1,000. F of M's monthly charge. So if M is greater than 1,000, so that means it's, okay. So so pretty much so if it's greater, that's the usage. That's the usage
Don't worry about that. That has actually very little to do with it. They're just saying that it's not less than 1,000 minutes.
Okay, so the formula would be then.
That's a good place to start. Let's see if we can come up with a formula, because I don't see anything down there that's going to be the formula we're going to write.
Yeah.
So obviously they're manipulating it a little bit.
Yeah.
So F of M should be what?
I was thinking 0.25.
Well, it's
like
$50 per star.
Yeah, plus 50. F of M, and I just said usage fee plus 50.
Plus what?
So, okay, so I just did a little different one. Plus 0.25.
Well, not plus 0.25, but plus 0.25 times M minus 1,000.
Minus 1,000, yeah. Just got that in my head.
Now, if we solve that, we're going to come up with something that looks correct.
Okay, so 0.25 M minus 1,000. 0.25 times M plus 50. So 0.25 M minus 250 plus 50. And then F of M equals 0.25m minus 200.
And that is on there. And that,
C.
I think we probably did it the best way to do it. It's going to be really hard to back solve it. It's going to be hard to do most anything unless you can come up with this formula right there.
Yeah, I think I was just going a little much on the
Now,
D's.
let's talk about just one minute.
Okay.
This isn't the easiest formula to come up with. So is there another way we could do this problem? And the answer is yes. Very easy way to do it. In fact, the way I would prefer you do it, or the way I would do it actually. Pick number, in other words, whenever you see a variable in the question and the variable is in every answer, that means there's no restrictions on m other than it has to be greater than 1,000. So let's make up an m.
Okay.
How about that m right there?
Okay.
Can we figure out what the cost should be? Relatively easy. What should it be?
So we have of m equals 50, or no, 2,000. And wait, I feel like I'm
If m is 2,000.
Yeah.
The
And then
first,
don't you just add the charge?
the first 1,000 costs 50. The next 1,000 costs 25 cents a minute.
25.
So
Sorry.
what's 25 times 1,000? 0.25 times 1,000.
So 0.25 times 1,000 is... Oh, God, I was just... Okay, it's 250.
Okay, plus the 50. So the charge for 200 minutes should be 300 bucks.
Okay.
So now let's go through every answer and see, plug in 2,000 for m, and see which one comes up to be 300.
So plug in 2,000, okay.
That one doesn't.
A doesn't.
That one doesn't.
500 plus 50, no. 500 minus 200 is 300. Not work.
That does work. There you go.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot faster.
So you see the technique? Well, I'm not sure it's necessarily faster, but it avoids you having to come up with this rather difficult formula that they don't give you. And it's not in the answer either. In other words, this formula gets simplified to give you this answer. And coming up with the raw formula, not that easy. This is one of the tougher ones to come up with. But if your life depended on this question, you would pick some number, because you know that when you pick a relatively easy number like 2,000, you're going to be able to figure out what the phone charge is.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. 50 bucks for the first 1,000 minutes, 25 cents a minute for 1,000 minutes. That's 300. And then all we have to do is figure out that. So this applies to a lot of type questions. Any question that has variables in the question and those same variables in all the answers means you can pick any number you want for m, at least as long as it satisfies that condition.
Okay.
Usually there's not even that to satisfy. But this is a good example of that, because this is one of the more difficult formulas to come up with, whereas doing it by picking numbers is relatively straightforward and simple.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Okay. I might just do the rest of this, and maybe next week we can just go over the ones I didn't get, just in case.
Okay. Sure.
And see how that goes.
Yeah. No, that's
do
fine.
the rest.
How's the trig going?
It's going okay. She's just teaching us a little different way than you're teaching me. So she's trying to make me remember it in a different way than memorizing it. She wants me to actually remember like a real world example, and I'm not that kind of person. Mm-hmm. So I'm just using it off your way. So.
Yeah, I mean, as long as
it's a lot easier.
Yeah, as long as you come up with the same answer and she doesn't make you show you your way.
Yeah.
Then you want to use the easiest way you can use.
Yeah, and that's definitely it. So.
Okay. Good.
Okay, cool.
Anthony, I'll talk to you next Thursday.
Yep, next Thursday. See you then.
All right.